Hello and welcome back to another fantastic Sunday live stream. How are you all doing today? We seem to have a slow rollout for people coming in. We have Synops and Azathoth here, FHI, Vale, Charm Tiger, and I saw much earlier on, Shading with the Gray posted they're having power outages and that we might be without their important and insightful commentaries today. Their words. His hair is down. Yeah, it's finally getting cool enough to do this, although with the lights on, I'm sure I'll end up putting it up halfway in or something like that. But it is, I grow the hair out. I should have it down sometimes. It looks nice. It's just too hot, Mark, welcome. The Youth Worship Explosion is here. Timu. Oh, that's good. Hey, Pear, welcome. Florida skill issues. Dude, I went to the yearly Christmas parade yesterday and I melted. Just when the clouds were out, and we did have some good overcasts for like the first 40 floats or so. It was okay, a nice little breeze. But dude, it hit like 11 o'clock. The sun is it's pelting me. And I'm just sitting there sweating. It is December. And it's so hot down here. Florida sucks, man. Show off your long hair while you still can. Genetically, I should be pretty good. If I understand it correctly, it's mostly determined by your mom's dad's ability to keep their hair, and my grandfather passed away at like 79 with a full head of hair. So I think I got the genetic lottery for hair at least. We'll see how that goes as I get older. It's thinning out. I know it's not as thick as it was when I was like 20 or something, but I do hope I'll be able to grow it out into my old age. Grandpa had a full head of hair, but my brother's bald. That's why I said it's mostly, from what I understand, determined. There's always other factors. Sometimes you just pull the short stick. A pity it wasn't the parade that made you melt. Yeah, the parade. It's a Florida parade. We had swamp boats being pulled through on floats. So it's a strange Christmas parade for some people. I'm pretty used to it. But I mean, it was fun. There's a lot of soap being thrown out to make it look like it's snowing. Like, I don't know, 20 floats use that. Always do, trying to get a Christmas in Florida kind of vibe going. So, yeah, local tradition. Exactly. All right. Now, we do have 13 tracks today, just like last week. And what's interesting is they're either long or they're shorts. Most of today's tracks are like around the 3-minute mark or over 6 minutes. And it seems to be a pretty 50-50 divide on that too, which is interesting. I don't know how today's going to go, given that there's a few longer tracks on here. I'm assuming we're going to run over time a little bit, especially with the 13 tracks. Let's get this started though. We're going to kick it off with some Caroline. Oh yeah, I turned that off from last week. All right, there we go. Now, this one has a lot of context to it. It comes from Bartolomei, I think is how that's pronounced. They gave me a proper pronunciation of it this week, or this month. Yeah, I think it's this month. And I hope I got it right this time. It says, since you had such an amazing time today with Caroline, let's do it again. This time I'd like you to view this piece through the following lens and would appreciate it if you read that live to folks on the stream. Very awesome, good. I'm glad I got that pronounced correct. Now, I'm not putting the context here because it's paragraphs of it, but there is some really cool stuff in here, so I am just going to share it. Hi, Paul. Oh, geez. All right, so Part 1, Branca's layering. His influence was even more pronounced in Total Euphoria, but the fact that the band uses up to 4 guitars in order to create a very intricate wall of sound should instantly ring a Glenn Branca bell. We can also view this as a nod to the shoegaze genre. Both of those approaches are correct, but what makes this song special is that the walls of sound in rock music are usually monolithic. They create a wall out of so many disjointed elements. It creates this amazing heterogeneity that just oozes brightness. The ending here is a classic no-wave approach. Just cut out the music and that's it. No, there's other bands that utilize this concept, but Glenn Branca was kind of pioneering this whole thing because he did it in the 80s. Part 2, Liturgy's general tremolo concept. Hunt Hendricks, for the purpose of transcendental black metal, distinguished special tremolo, which refers to a technique of playing versus standard tremolo, and general tremolo, which aims to apply tremolo to the whole composition. You heard that in glitches and the constant rhythmic switches in Liturgy's 93696, and I dare say that Caroline achieved something very similar. Part 3, bluegrass influence in the violins. Melodies, glissandos, and the timbre of the violins have a strong bluegrass feel to it, which is not a coincidence. The violinists also play in folk bands too. When they hit the final crescendo with the lyrics "Set Me on Fire" around 4 minutes in, look at how the violin screams with the vocalists and how they hit the unison on fire together. There's also a dynamic approach to the drums, especially apparent with the blast beats, and it's cool how they come in and out of the picture because of the volume shifts. P.S. In the ending track of this album, there's a lyric, "Picture a beautiful ending. Not everything needs to even out," which is an important clue on how to approach this. And P.P.S. we can say this is avant-garde or experimental, but I have a strong feeling this is the shape of rock music to come. A lot of context for this, a lot of stuff to keep in mind going into this track, but all of it really interesting. It grabs my attention. Also, why is Spotify not running yet? I think the 7-minute cap should include context. Let's dive into this, see what's going on with 2 Riders Down. I know this is going to grow into something else. I was thinking of something more difficult to listen to, given the context to this. That's why you include as little context as possible in exchange. Yeah, I figure it's going to grow into something. That's interesting, Hair. Joel have mentioned, the production on this is very raw, but I think it's interesting listening to the vocals too. They feel even less refined than the production. That's not rhythmically perfect, is it? So I'm going to turn this down a bit. I'm not sure what happened there. There's so many disparate ideas. Production dynamics are interesting as well. Yeah, okay, so I'm glad I'm not the only one picking up on that. Almost 7 minutes, yes. All right. This is definitely going to appeal more to the people who enjoy noisier sides of music, noise rock, art punk, even I'd say there's some emo post-hardcore elements in here too. It's just a bit more on the acoustic side of things. I can certainly see this appealing to a pretty large group in this community. And, comparing it to the microphones, I think is pretty appropriate. It's a similar idea, but certainly pumped up to the next level there. The contrast on here is what really stands out to me the most. It's not just going from something softer to louder. but it's also production choices. We go from just turning on a tape recorder in a practice room to studio production towards the end of it. The constant rising and falling of the drum volume gives it some sort of momentum that it doesn't have otherwise. It is just constant snare hits, a bit on the lighter side. It's not smashing the snare, but it has intensity to it. But it does rise and fall in volume, despite its consistency in writing. I think the song does a great job of using all of these dynamic qualities to reach that peak a couple of minutes before the end and to ride that peak out to the end, somehow still eking out some extra intensity in those final moments. But subjectively, it kind of just didn't work for me. I want to like it. I think it has some cool ideas. It just never coalesces into anything that I think stands out. This feels, I will tell you this though, I get the context about this possibly being the future of rock though. I can see a lot of the less mainstream side of indie rock, specifically the noisier side of it, pursuing something like this. This feels like the birth of a new sound. It's what was that band? They did the album The Shape of Punk to Come, and there's so many ideas on that album that didn't refused. Yeah. So there's a lot of ideas on that album that I didn't think really worked, but would eventually influence stuff that absolutely tore through the mainstream. And this feels like one of those sophomore albums that's a bit rough around the edges, but incredibly ambitious. And more experience is going to form this band into turning this into something really special. You're saying we're doomed? And I can see bands like this continuing to push what bands like the Microphones have been doing into the next generation of noise rock artists. Everything they've done, I've heard done better. Interesting. You don't really hear anything innovative in this. Huh. On the one hand, I think just at the surface level, yes, this is a post-rock track with acoustic instrumentation. We've heard stuff like that before. But to me, I think it's the compositional side of things, the exploration of sound and noise, and using that to craft narrative. Well, see, there is Naked City too, and John Zorn. I remember Zorn. I don't know if John's the first name of that artist. But yeah, Zorn in general. There's there's always going to be a progenitor to a sound. Everything can be traced back. So yeah, maybe Zorn influenced this, but maybe a lot of people haven't heard of Zorn, but will have heard of this. So I am not going to listen to Captain Beefheart again. I think that's still my most highly commented video. I still get comments on it. And I keep wondering, should I just give the album a listen? Am I missing something in the context of the whole? I really don't think I am, but it's not fair just to judge it on one or two songs. Trout Mask Replica, is that what it's called? I'm probably going to listen to it eventually. Shape of Punk to Come is still better than most of what it inspired. Interesting. I feel the opposite, but I wonder how much of that is because I heard what it inspired before I heard it. So I can appreciate what it's done, but well, here's the other thing to that equation too, is I typically enjoy more concise ideas, the refinement process, I enjoy that iteration and what comes through that. So the rougher elements of that Refused album are rough to me, where it's going to be energizing for others. Curious to know some titles that were directly inspired by the shape of punk to come. I'll listen to the album again. And I remember the last time I listened to it, all I could think of is, oh, this sounds like this other song that I enjoy, or this other band. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's just so many parallels in there to music that came after. I don't know if it was so much so of like a direct inspiration, but I heard those ideas in better production, more thoroughly or more concisely explored through other bands. Captain Beefheart is not Brian's bag. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. Oh, like name checked. That would be interesting too, though. How many bands would drop that and say, yeah, we were definitely inspired by that? Because I like developing an idea, not slapping a bunch together. Yes, I do. All right, that was an interesting start to the day. We're going to jump into some Cure here, which my limited knowledge of the Cure tells me this is going to be very different. This one comes at us from Mario with no context. Let's just dive straight into this track. See what's going on with the Cure. Also, I may be fiddling with the audio today. I don't know why that last track was so far off, and I'm a little worried that none of the audio today is going to be balanced well. We'll see how this goes, though. Oh, The Cure is a band that has a different sound every album. I am, dude. I have all of the volumes numbers set. I checked it last night, and for some reason that one was way off. So I don't know. Solid start though. Lots of energy. Love the guitar. Curious to see where this goes though. Is this an instrumental? I don't think I've listened to a single instrumental from them. That atmosphere is coming in strong though. See, I can kind of get behind this though because I'm enjoying the melody on it. Admittedly, it's kind of losing me though. I think it needs to do... That's a good way to describe this. It's very jammy. Because it's the kiss, the long makeout session. They kicked off the album with that? Yeah, I can see that, Mark. The heavy wah on the guitar really sells that. The industrial drums. Yeah. Wah-waphony. I like it. It's a good way to describe this. The first Mario Brothers movie was fantastic. Kind of an unceremonious wrap up here. The chords just kind of stop. I'm gonna catch flack for this, but I like the Caroline. I like the Caroline track better. Solid atmosphere on this. I can really get behind the vibe. The guitar solo is interesting to a point, and I like the vocal bit, but this is not 6 minutes worth of music. Someone had mentioned that most of the times that we have jammy music, that the band will change the underbelly of the track, adjusting that. And yeah, I agree. This doesn't change much, and I find that to really drag it down. I would have liked some more modularity in what the bass and drums were doing, what the synth was doing. The vocals helped change the pace up a little bit, but kind of short-lived, and then we were back to just the guitar part. And while it was a neat start, the guitar melodies just didn't grab me enough to be the lead for 80% of this track. And that's it right there. I think there's a lot of solid ideas in here, but it needed to be more for the length. Very fun mood though, 100%. And sometimes it even felt like the solo was becoming the background sound with everything else, not really going for something melodic, but adding the texture of that distorted wah to the mix. And as I think it was Mark mentioned, yeah, solid background music for a classic future sci-fi film, dystopian sci-fi film, even more. And I think it does a lot of that well. There isn't a lot in here that's like needs to be in the spotlight. And I think that's what drags it down for me a little bit, is that I just wanted something in the spotlight. Spotlight. You don't know, Mark? Geez. I'm gonna have to make like an AI character named Paul or something. Oh, snap. Okay, so check this out. Over the break, I'm gonna be teaching myself streamer bot. What if I named the Discord bot Paul? I think that's what I'm gonna do. That way Paul can be part of the community forever. All right, we got one person on board with this. Paul is dead. You might as well. You guys mocked me so much, so I'm owning it, so you can't pick on me. Ah, jeez. Polarizing. I was trying to figure out what the pun was there. I thought about, because I live in Florida, getting like an inflatable palm tree to put in the back. Thought about getting a chicken because it's poultry. But I couldn't. I don't think any of it really worked. But streamer bot, having the community bot's name being Paul, that I like that. Pauling my leg. Completely off topic. I tried one of the most delicious chips I think I've ever had. Appalls. So my mom went to Turkey recently and got these Lay's barbecue chips for me. And barbecue? We have barbecue in the States, but it's not. So barbecue in the States it's a crisp. Okay, fair enough. Barbecue in the States, though, is chips with seasoning on it that's supposed to evoke the taste of barbecue sauce. This literally tastes like a barbecued vegetable kebab. I can taste like flame cooked, I don't know what that word is, tomatoes and onions. And it's delicious. Why don't we have anything like this in the States? Why is everything in the States just salty? Actually, I didn't even look at the salt content. Oh, okay, so it's even less salt content than American chips. But it doesn't taste salty either. That's the crazy thing. I would love, show us again? Yeah. Try to get it without like the glare. Dude, this stuff is delicious though. Truffle flavored Lay's? That sounds pretty good because it makes less money. In the States, it probably would. I could see people tasting this and thinking it's bland, not seasoned enough. Probably like a lot of chocolates and sugars from Europe if they were sold over here. Wouldn't be sweet enough to the American palate. Grilled. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. So many good flavors that you can't find in the States. There really are. I could see it catching on with like a specific sect of Americans, particularly more food conscious or nutrition conscious people. But I think the general population, who I have no data to back this up, but my gut says makes up most of the snack industry's profits, would not, I don't think it'd be popular enough to keep around. The German guy that does videos commenting on American views of the UK, he was laughing about you loving everything to be salty. Everything over here is salty, dude. It's crazy. And the thing is, it's like, I don't notice it. I can't say this from my perspective, but seeing so many posts or vlogs about people who come over here and try not even just fast food, but even like fast casual sit down restaurants and just take a bite. And their first reaction is, this is salt, pure salt. Like I have to take that as a fact. We have really salty foods. It's wild. Asia's the king of salty. Dude, yeah, but they have a different name for it, which makes it cooler. What is it? I mean, maybe it's not all. No, it'd just be Japan then, right? Umami. Salt is good for you. And MSG, yep. Not traditional salt in that manner. But yeah, a lot of Asian foods. Well, see, here's the other thing. I've had Asian foods that are imported to the US. Are they even saltier to accommodate for this culture? I don't know. You love potato chips that taste like potato and have a great crunch. I'm right there with you. I don't buy chips for myself too often. When I do, it's classic. I like traditional corn tortillas. I don't need like nacho cheese powder on them or whatever. When I buy Lay's, I get classic or low sodium classic. I like the flavors. They're just not my go-to. But I also like vanilla ice cream. So a lot of people have called me bland in the past. And yeah, you know what? I own it. Yeah, I like bland stuff. MSG is salt, but not salty. Interesting. Because we have MSG in our stuff over here too. In fact, Doritos uses MSG in pretty much all of their flavors. So I always assumed it's a salty flavor, but maybe it's not. The blocks of halite in the geology lab. Bland, Brian, you don't say. Yeah, I'm not bland. Vanilla ice cream with fudge and caramel is better than any other ice cream out there. I think, yeah. I don't know if I agree particularly with the fudge and caramel, but vanilla as a base is better than chocolate as a base. You can put toppings on vanilla. I feel like chocolate ice cream's already too much. You don't want to put much more on that. Graters? All right, I'm going to get this train back rolling because we've done 2 songs in 40 minutes. That's not very good for getting through an extended day. But I am waiting for this graders page to load. I'm curious what that is. All right, next up we have Kikagaku Moyo. Is that how you pronounce that? With Cardigan song? This one comes at us from FHI. A few streams back, we talked about music that sounds like it's coming from next door. It made me think of this song that I really adore. The rhyme was unintentional. I like that. All right, let's dive into this one and see what's going on. Sesame flavored ice cream? That sounds interesting. It's okay to be wrong. So this is starting out really warm. Looks like that Graders is, they're in stores now. So I might have to look for a pint of it. Very soft voice. Gorgeous. Yeah. Okay, beautiful. We're on the same page right there. Yeah, Dippin' Dots is still around. And there's even knockoffs that are really close to it that you can get in stores for like half the price. So So is this just gonna be? I thought maybe this would be the point to expand it. Maybe not. So I love the counterpoint on this. Very folky, very inviting. Mumblecore music. I mean, there's only a solid minute left in this. I don't think we're getting anything other than this. So that's interesting then. Two people who know this band for different sounds. Yeah, we have had 3 songs in a row that they just kind of exist. Yeah, beautiful track. Love the vocal work. It's not too many times you get to hear a soft-spoken falsetto that I think conveys a type of warmth and familiarity. Usually falsetto to me brings about etherealness. There's an airiness to it that evokes distance more than anything else. You can have belted falsetto, which brings about more power, but again, that's not this sort of warm, inviting, comforting sound. So I think it's interesting that they crafted this physicality to the falsetto for this track that I think works really well with the guitar work. Also warm and inviting. A beautiful track, but, well, not but, and that's about it. I don't really have much else to add to this. It's the counterpoint's nice. 2 guitars and vocals all kind of doing different things, working together to build a nice atmosphere. So meditative. Yeah, good word for it. The ending is interesting. I'm not sure I liked it, but I think I just need another time through with it to try to get what it's going for. The temporal pull is interesting, slowing the track down and then bringing it back up. But the chords, they didn't seem to groove too well with what we were doing. They bring about a bit of tension at the end of a track that's pretty chill. So, one of your favorite winter songs? I could see that. Yeah. Um, who was that who posted earlier about the Dippin' Dots? Spiral Out. Um, Let me type this in the chat 'cause it's spelled kind of weird, but the brand that does the knockoffs that are really close is called Itty Bits. And you can find them, at least in the States, in stores, yeah, Publix, Target, Walmart. But it's spelled weirdly. But they're good. If you got a craving for some Dippin' Dots and you don't mind parting with some cash that's more than what you're getting in the ice cream, like a half gallon of ice cream is going to be a much better price to ice cream ratio. But it's good to get every once in a while. Let's kind of get that nostalgia out of the way. Negative 40 degrees for Dippin' Dots? That's crazy. Make your own. You just need liquid nitrogen. Pretty simple right there. All right, we have some agriculture here. Bodhidharma. I actually thought we had checked this track out sometime in the past, but I don't think we have. It just seems very familiar title-wise. Comes from Vale, though. One of the more unique tracks I've heard, methinks. You can't just throw methinks at the end of a sentence there. It's the third to last track on the album. It's split from the agriculture song we listened to last week by a mostly acoustic song that I wish we could string together with this one. All right. Let's dive into it then. See what's going on with agriculture. What's going on over there? Every week we have a good agriculture joke. Not what I expect from them, though. It does feel compressed down like I expect, but not really the black metal adjacent stuff. Yeah, we're way behind on today. Hope y'all wanted a 3-hour stream. Perfect timing, Mark. How do you feel now?
What do you need? Lift out from the cloud of sitting under 10 grams of weight. Feels like you're gonna hurt forever. What do you need?
Yeah, there's definitely too much drumming in that last section. Yeah, I mean, as far as consistency goes and trying to tie all this together, there just isn't any of that. Good call, Mark. I guess it does make me feel a little better about it. Not even a full proper fade out on that either. Why is that? That's never been a problem in the past, right? What? Get out of here. That text is from a year ago, maybe? I remember when we checked out, it was a short, a little like minute and a half track. I showed that to y'all. Why? I'm so confused. Anyways, this track. Also, I'm so confused by this track. Is this one of the first times that we've checked out some sort of blackened stoner rock? What's interesting about it too is that it's really only the vocals that are blackened. A little bit of the production feels compressed down too, but otherwise, I mean, this is a stoner rock track with an interesting penchant for experimental choices. The decision to go with blackened vocals and in every other beat drum hit for a majority of that first section was wild. Yeah, we did get the blast beats at the end, but they weren't aggressive. Yeah, they were tuned down in the production, and I think that helps a lot. It allows them to be a texture rather than an aggressive sound, something to really steal your ear. I do like the groove though. The guitar part is sick. The solo was really nice, meeting an interesting midpoint between a bit more showmanship and noise and melodic journey, and working in texture elements into the melodic work. I thought it was really well done. A friendly name for a soft blast beat, a wash beat? Huh. Trying to figure out, like, is there wordplay to that? Where does wash beat come in? All right, Mark, have a good rest of your day because it's kind of washed out. Oh. See, I was thinking of like pressure washing would be like blasting, so maybe we're just regular washing without the pressure. That's where my mind went. I started to think of like clothes washers and any sort of like rhythmic pulse to them. I'm like, that's probably not it. But the production, yeah, okay. No wordplay, just how I think of shoegaze, layers of wash. Gotcha. But yeah, I generally enjoyed that. Each individual section was interesting. I could honestly do without the harsh vocals, not my favorite kinds. And that first section, it sets the scene, but it goes on for a while. And I didn't really enjoy that, and I don't think I'd enjoy it on subsequent listens. It is purposefully minimalistic, which I think is good contrast, but not too interesting because of the minimalism. Sprinkle beats. It's interesting to hear how this has parallels with the next track, though. And weren't you talking about how it's musically, sonically connected to the one two before it or something like that? I can always do without harsh vocals. That's mostly true. Mostly true. Waz beat, the fire of innocence and the waves of fury. The next track's mostly acoustic. I guess I'm just gonna have to listen to this album. It intrigues me. I don't know that I'm gonna like it, but I kind of feel like I need to check it out. And they do write solid stuff too. Even if it isn't something that grabs me every moment of the album, I still think I'm gonna find parts and pieces of it that work really well for me. Yeah, the video was well done. I thought they did a good job with that. Next up, we have the new Pornographers with the track Joseph, Who Understood. This one comes at us from What Makes Me Me, on the themes of Christmas songs that don't suck, and whoever thinks about how Joseph. Is that really what this song's about? At best, you don't mind them, except when they're paired with cleans, right? Um, no, there's definitely tracks that I like where I like the harsh vocals, but it's always it's more of an artistic thing. And I think that's why I tend to shy away from harsh vocals during the reactions, is because I don't have the familiarity with the track of having heard it hundreds of times to really pair all the emotional qualities together. But if it's a song that I'm very familiar with, the harshes tend to work well for me because they're pairing well with what's being said at that moment. But I think that's another thing too, and something that I like about um, old school post-hardcore is that some of those vocalists would use harshes only for specific words or sentences within a clean phrase. And it wasn't so much like metalcore where you might have a harsh verse and a clean chorus. They kind of get interwoven together. So it's not so much harsh vocals as well as extra emphasized portions of a melodic phrase. And I think that's what really sticks with me because you really get that emotional impact of those words, that moment. So Jesus' immaculate conception can basically be understood now as alien hybrid insemination. What? What am I reading? Say what now? Could you imagine? I always love anachronistic language. And just imagining Joseph 2,000 years ago. Say what now? Dude, that's so good. Oh my, oh jeez. All right, let's I'm just gonna hit play because I don't know when I'm gonna stop laughing. That's oh man. Jesus and Anakin are both basically the same. Where do y'all come up with this stuff? Hey, Depressive Isolation, what's up? You doing good today? Welcome to the server. Or the stream, whatever this is. It's tearing up, man. That was good. Oh, man.
Child was sent here to heal our broken town, and some things are bigger than we know. When somehow you find out that you asked the Father to a God, well, Mary, that's life.
I do like the dual vocals. It's a very chill track. Y'all talking about Anakin and Jesus. I thought, what was the parable about Jesus slaying the younglings? Could you imagine if that was in the Bible? That's an Old Testament story right there. You're asking me to believe in too many things? Spare the sable. That's good. I kind of like that perspective. I mean, I don't know how messed up the stories are, but Jesus being a regular kid, doing stupid stuff, I kind of like that. Humanizes him. The bells are a really good addition to this track too. All right. Yeah, solid track right there. Interestingly, once again, agriculture broke the trend. Most of today's songs have been very singular in vision. And this one lines up with that too. Solid, inviting, calm, chill. I love the atmosphere of this track. The vocalists sound great together. I would love to listen to them basically sing anything. I think their timbres line up really well. The bells have a nice brightness to them and make the song even more inviting and joyful. And I got to dig more into the lyrics because just Joseph saying, hey, dude, you're trying to make me believe in too many things here. That kind of cracks me up too. Yeah, I'm digging it. I think this is a solid track here. Mountain Goats adjacent in sound and is Mountain Goats a band? I'm going to assume so. I can't imagine the description. They were mountain goats adjacent being used in a positive light if we were talking about the animals. Okay. Singular saltiness. Oh, I like the alliteration on that. Do you need to bring some salt into the title? We got a lot of runners for today's themes. This is good. Although I guess there's a sweet spot in the middle. Nobody brings up any themes, and I got to come up with something, and maybe there's not some good, connection between the conversations or the music that day. And then there's something like today where I have so many to pick from, and they're all good. Usually it's nice when there's one idea. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can just lean into that. It makes my job simple. But yeah, short and simple track right there. Sorry, short and sweet track right there. Good. What would you call this? Indie folk? Nice acoustic instrumentation for the most part. Just a good vibe. Next up, we have some MX Lonely. This track is called Big Hips. We're going to be looking at this from Christopher. New track from them. Really? Grunge track a decade late? 3 weeks ago. All right. I'm always down for some new grunge. Let's kick this, dive in, see what's going on. MX. I always get these mixed up with MXPX, and I forget that this is a new group. Fish Islands. Oh, dude, that's classic. It's like 90s, 2000s extreme sports lens right there. All right, let's dive in, see what's going on. Directed by Backwards Charm. The slight intonation stuff on each of those notes. The Loki edition, deceptive but low key. That's good.
I sent you a picture of Pat trapped in a black hole. When you're old and being CAT scanned for cancer, I feel bad it's not the dig I sent you, for that would have been a more sincere gesture of my affection. How you know I died?
It's interesting to push the more energetic vocals way out to the side. I genuinely feel like I'm getting old here. So I actually went and looked the lyrics up because I could not understand what the verse was. It was big hips for a boy. That's how I know that, or how you know that I got big hips for a boy. That's the chorus. I feel like I'm getting old though, because my first thought listening to this is grunge today? And as we got further into the track, I think it started to line up a little bit better for me. And I started to understand and see where the progression has been, but I'm not the audience for this. The guitar tone is there, the drumming is kind of there, but the thing is that this feels too laid back for me, both in the vocal delivery, but also the drums. It feels a bit more shoegazy from that perspective, with a grungy chord progression thrown on top of it. And I'm kind of missing the rage that punk is kind of known for. Not punk, grunge. I liked the yelling that we got over on the right side. I just wish it weren't relegated to the back of the sound sphere. I wish it was more present. I wish it was what we heard in the center in the chorus. But I also understand that that vocal style is a bit shrill too. It's very high pitched and very directed. It's a thin tone. It technically isn't a good idea to put that front and center too. So I think this is probably the best way to go about it. It just doesn't grab me. Grunge is just as much depressing despair as rage, 100%. And I think that this song does a great job of capturing the despair. It does an okay job of capturing the rage. But also looking at the lyrics, it's not ragey or despair. It's about a cool relationship. So I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm just not the audience for this. Maybe another track of theirs would grab me. In fact, I think I've spoken positively about MX Lonely in the past too. This one just, I don't know. The correct capitalization has a lowercase x. I mean, their channel name and in the title here is both all caps. So maybe they're doing that because everyone does it. The proper capitalization isn't used here because nobody properly capitalizes their names anymore on YouTube videos or channel names. And I know that because I've been having the biggest problem when I was putting the database together, because so many bands will use all caps, and I think that that's a stylistic choice, and it's not. It's a marketing choice, and the stylistic choice is something totally different. If it means max, I was trying to figure this out because I didn't know what MX Lonely was, but Maximum Lonely might be, that might work, and it would fit with their general sound too. Oh. And that I think there's definitely some gender ideas going on in the lyrics of this track too that I couldn't quite figure out. I just thought maybe it was a neat perspective thing going on, but if the band is more gender fluid and the lyrics are more gender fluid, bringing that into the band name also would be a nice way to kind of bring everything together. As for music, Mark, you missed a modern grunge track and this cool little indie folk thing I think you would like. Very light and gentle, very chill. The name itself stems from vocalist Ray Haas's nickname for figures that haunted them during sleep paralysis. Okay. That's... all right. Sometimes you learn about names, you're like, wow, that's nothing what I expected. So they suffer from sleep paralysis, and the figures that haunted them. I wonder if they gave them the names or if the figures already had names. The sleep paralysis demons. Interesting. All right. Next up, we have some kokeshi. Can't pronounce the title because I can't read it. But I think we're going to have a good time with this one. Comes from Gaku. New Kokeshi just came out and it's so good. And I'm always down for music that's so good. So let's dive into this, see what's going on. It is good? Oh, it's good. It's all, yeah. Another interesting production. The vocals being tucked in. Oh, alright, well, I'll take that with a grain of salt then. Interesting mix of the cleans and harshes. Okay. So I double checked the MX Molmy thing, and their Bandcamp does state that that's where it comes from. Really great variety on the vocals though. Like the cleans are solid. When she did the spoken word at the beginning, that was a good third of an octave down below her singing range. Then we had the growls, the harshes, the screams. Is Bianca, you say new band, they just put out like a debut album or something? Yeah, that Bianca, they're a black metal band from Italy. Released the album October 31st. All right, I'll check that out. This track, very interesting on the vocals. As I mentioned, there's the low growls, there's the high fries, there's the whistle scream or just really high pitched falsetto. Not sure what was going on there, but I mean, solid delivery on that too. There's some solid, like pure chest vocals in here. We get some mixed head and chest, really lower tone spoken word stuff. Just a lot of variety. It keeps the song feeling fresh throughout. The instrumentation does a great job with atmosphere, but not a lot of memorable drum parts or riffs to this. They are really focused on atmosphere. And so I think if they had a different vocalist, I would not be as interested. But given that they do have this vocalist, I'm gonna have to check out more of their work. And that's not a dig at the rest of the band. Sometimes your band is just about creating a really solid atmosphere and having good melody on top of it. And the melody just happens to be a vocalist for this. What is the thumbnail on the right? It says an obsidian sword of the Aztecs. I guess they are showing how it worked on whatever those dummies are. I guess it's made out of some sort of gel or jelly or something. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea how YouTube does anything for me because I have everything turned off. Hopefully they don't, I mean, it's Google. They probably still capture a lot of stuff, but I have no idea why they recommend anything that they do on this account because it's literally just for music. All I do on this account is listen to music, and they give me the weirdest recs. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check out more of this and pull that one down. Finished Alice in Borderland Season 3. It was both terrible and entertaining. Also watched Season 1 of The Expanse. Yes. I haven't seen the show yet, but I think I'm on book 4, and it is fantastic. I love that series. Yeah, I think that's about it that I need to say about Kokeshi. I'm excited to dig into more, though. That is a solid introduction track, I'm hoping. The books and show are that different. I am caught up on Pluribus, and I'm mixed. I'm mixed. The acting is well done. The concept is interesting, but it's moving at such a slow pace, and I think it's because it is purposefully showing its hand at every corner, setting me up to think that I know what's going on. And I have anticipated a few story beats before they came out, but I think the end's going to sweep me off my feet. At least that's what I'm hoping with it. I think the slow pace, for me in particular, I don't read online discourse, so I didn't know that was actually a common complaint. But for me, it's because I'm anticipating things early, and so when they drop it, I'm like, well, we could have done that half an episode ago when you made an obvious connection to that idea. Why did we have to wait 30 minutes for you to reveal this? And so I feel like I'm ahead of the show in a sense, which makes it feel like the show's always catching up to me. And that's why I really hope the end of season 1 drops something big and that all this has been like a big red herring or something. Kids these days have no patience. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A part of the TikTok generation. If only. I've never even had a TikTok account. Ever. It's not like, Facebook. I've had a Facebook account. I don't have one now, but I did at one time. TikTok, I've never even had one. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's the thing is too is that I want the plot to develop, and that's being doled out slowly while we're getting some really solid character exploration, which I think is moving slow but is good. And I don't really care too much about the characters to really be on board with that slower development pace. So I think that's where it's getting me. But I'm watching with a friend, which I don't watch a lot of TV with, so that helps a little bit. We get together every Saturday and watch the previous week's episode. So bragging about your data being private. Loyal to Discord. I still wish we could get away from Discord. I think there was one point when we were talking about setting up a Matrix server and never got around to that. And the big issue is I don't see a lot of the community moving from Discord to Matrix. And I can't connect Matrix to Patreon. So I'd have to do a lot of stuff by hand too. But I wouldn't say I'm loyal to Discord either. Discord's just as bad. They're just, much like YouTube, it's too useful for the business side of things. I think if I was purely just creating a Discord for like friends or family or something, it would certainly be something else. Yeah, Matrix is a decentralized, I believe, basically chat room thing. It's kind of like Discord, but not quite as good as Discord at having large communities. It's about ubiquity. Yeah, that too. Yeah, actually, Matrix is kind of like IRC, where you can group a bunch of rooms together under a house, sort of like how we have the chat rooms within the server. So it's like a midpoint between IRC and Discord. Yeah. I think they just updated for video chat last year too, so they're trying to get up to Discord's feature set. But it's all decentralized, it's private. It's basically, I don't know if this is a good comparison, but it's like the Signal version of the large chat room. So, but there is a bridge. I could have made a Matrix server and had messages move between Matrix and Discord. So they'd be kind of unified on both sides, but I don't know. I always felt like it was too much work for too little convenience. All right. Next up, we have some, what is this, Katatonia? Actually, yeah, it is. I don't know why I guessed, like I couldn't have just looked at the bottom of the screen. Efter Solen? Is that how that's pronounced? What is puffin? Why does that sound familiar? Katatonia. This one comes at us from Junie, from Katatonia's latest album. I think it's their first song in Swedish. That's pretty cool. Habbo Hotel? I don't know what that is either. Just know it from I don't know what Four Lions is. I feel like I'm lost here. I'm usually pretty, I'm at least aware of what y'all are talking about most of the time. I'm totally lost here though. Oh, it's a film? I thought I just wasn't online enough. Now I'm not media literate enough. All right, let's dig into some Katatonia and see what's going on here. There we go. It's a comedy about jihadi terrorists. British film. Ooh. Political satire black comedy film from 2010. All right, this is a solid start. Interesting choice with the electronic drums.
Tänk om allt var inställt rätt. Kontrasten och skärpan. Utanför nattens mur. Men med mörkret kvar över ögats lins. I förändringens centrala punkt. I balansens marginal. I förändringens centrala punkt. I balansens marginal.
I just remembered the say what now? Sorry.
En gammal tomhet som
Not the time to be laughing. This is not a funny song.
ökar i värde. Som ett snöfall på en sommardag. Men än är det tyst.
It's just such a good anachronistic joke.
Ett eko utan svar. Tanken var bra. Och ordet rakt. Men idag
The latency.
finns inget som håller mig tillbaka. I förändringens centrala punkt.
I really want to like this. It's got some really cool ideas to it.
Marginal.
I think it's just moving a bit too slow for me.
Förändringens centrala punkt.
I'm really hoping there's a good payoff to this though, because there is expansion and growth.
Marginal.
Okay. Lacks a bit of bite. Yeah, I can kind of see that. I wish I knew what they were saying though. I wonder if there's an English translation for it. He needs to learn Swedish. Yeah, that would definitely help. Ooh. They could have started somewhere. All right, so I liked that. It took a moment to get into it, but I think it worked. A road without a beginning and an end. Kind of flabbergasted, which is unusual. The beginning, here's the thing. I think the beginning could have used something on a purely musical level. I would have liked to just see something of more interest, but I get them moving to where we were at the end. I think starting off a bit more bland and without direction is purposeful and necessary to land where they end up, just to increase the gulf in that division there. I also pulled up the lyrics, which, as we all know, even when I'm a little hard on music, lyrics can help me understand some of the context to it, some of the directional choices. And this song, the chorus states, all right, now you don't want to load. The chorus states, at the center of change and at the margin of balance in the hours after the sun. The verses focus on this feeling of darkness being ever present and trying to sit on the side of light. The third verse and the eventual bridge are about darkness winning out and coming upon mysteries and dangers that they weren't aware were present. It's about a state of life changing and feeling that in the music. I think the title is After the Sun. Okay. The Swedish chef logic after Solen. After the sun. There's no way that works. That's got to be like a one-time deal, right? But I do think it works generally. Now, casually, the first like 2 minutes, not my jam. But I do like artistically where this goes and where it ends up. I'm not a big fan of the digital drums, though. I think that's the one thing that's off-putting through the entirety of the track. But the harmonies are great. The production is fantastic. The mood, the vibe, getting darker, more ominous and sorrowful as we go through it is phenomenal. I mean, that's what Katatonia is good at, right? Emotional landscape is something they excel at, and they do well really here too. It can be hard to hear any song in this format and appreciate it out of context from its place in the album. Absolutely correct. You can still get a taste of whether to revisit again as part of the whole. Completely agree there too. This could be a low point in the album, and it fits in perfectly. But I do think that there's some really great artistic elements going on in here too, and I might have to check this out. 2025. Have I listened to this already? June 6th? Maybe? I got to go back through my list. This is from a few months ago. I might have listened to this already. You have to be really careful with this style because it's easy to give it no character. Yeah. I mean, I think that's whenever you go for something more minimal, you can really lean into that regardless of the genre. Deep emo. It's definitely emotive and there is depth. Yeah, we can roll with that. All right, we're going to check out Profiler next, which all caps, marketing or style. There's a lot of songs that work alone. If a song doesn't, it's probably not the best choice for live streams. I don't know that that's always true, but I think if you're going to go for introducing an audience to a sound, you probably should pick something that isn't confined to an album experience, but sometimes you just want to share that too. I mean, if you can't share the whole album, pick your favorite track on it, even if it does require the context. Concern with modern ways of consuming music too. People tend to listen more to songs than albums. Now, to be fair, for my current releases, I will finish them this year. I have, 3 months left in 2, 3, like 3.5 weeks left in the year, and I'm down to like 20 albums released this year. So unlike years previous, I'm not going to have to put a huge list of albums that I wanted to get to but didn't in the AOTY video, which I'm pretty happy about. But yes, anything released prior to 2025 is in a list that I might get to in 2060. All right, FHI, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by and joining us. Let's dive into this profiler here. And the track's called Luciferian. This one comes at us from Azathoth. I'll give you something I think you might like. This EP dropped in full today, which was convenient. Nu metal revival out of Britain. I'm always down for good nu metal. I did add Bianca, but I think I can still get to that. I'm looking at about an album a day, which is very doable, especially when I get on break. So very easy. A drug from Luciferian? Not to my knowledge. Curious if someone else has played a game with it though. Let's dive into this. Where's there we go. And set up the volume. Let's kick it. Oh, jeez. Not just any nu metal. Limp Bizkit. Dude, this is good. What does this remind me of? Real. Oh, yeah. Bro, you're not vibing with this? And we got some scratching. This is peak 2000s. Okay, that's a solid criticism right there. Oh, it's from RimWorld. Solid track, lots of groove, great energy throughout. Even as we back the energy off for the chorus, I mean, it's just, it still keeps that electricity. Really enjoying that. Good stuff all around. Dude, we even got scratching in there. on the turntable, and I'm still trying to figure out where I know that chorus sound from. The 311 fits, but I don't think it's what I'm thinking of. I can't place it. Yeah. Okay, so the chorus, a little bit more of that hazy energy, atmosphere, Deftones, yeah. Maybe it is Linkin Park. Energy Biscuit. I'm sold on this though. I'm gonna have to check out some more of them. The lyrics, I went and looked them up. They're weak, yeah, but I'm not listening to new metal for the lyrics generally. That's a vibe, energy kind of thing. I'm going to the shows. I'm moshing. Just, I don't know, dude. It's so hype. I wish I could explain it in a way that no way you, dude, I totally mosh at my age. Now, granted, I haven't been to a show since 2019, I think. I went and saw Ginger with, I can't think of the name of the band that opened for them. I was absolutely in the mosh pit though. Yeah, I mean, 6 years ago, I'm still in my 30s though. Not too big of a difference. At least, okay, I don't feel too different from like 32 to 38. Okay. Seen people way older than Brian moshing. 100%. Yeah, dude, I'm not in like, I haven't aged out of moshing yet. I don't crowd surf anymore, that's for sure. The last thing I need is to be dropped on my back. That'll take me out for sure. I can't bounce back from that like it did when I was a teen, but you can mosh, man. Those people are in better shape. Wow, dude, shots fired. You gotta have some size if you don't want to get hurt, though. I think when you're in the pit, it's not too bad if you're smaller, but the wall of the pit sucks if you're on the smaller side. 100%, dude. I mean, I'm not a small person, and I hate being on the wall of a pit, so after 37 and a half, it's 40s. Wow. Upset that someone didn't say thank you? Heard that before. Last show you had saw somebody in their 70s moshing? Yeah. I mean, depending on if you take care of yourself, you could certainly be older and still mosh. Fell right into your arms. Dude, if this was a rom-com, that would have been it. That would have been the start of a long-lasting relationship. How did she crowd surf to an area with no one around, though? I mean, I know there's not really any direction to crowd surfing, but I've still never seen anyone crowd surf into nothing. Mid-40s Hawaiian shirts, beer belly, Legend of the Rock Club. You just randomly had your arms out and someone fell into them, and you're not married now? Forget the thank you. It sounds like you missed out on prime opportunity. You had a perfect situation land in your arms. Figuratively. First mosh, close to 60 for Meshuggah. Wow. Is the medium demon watching yet? The medium demon does not like rock music. Well, she's kind of a genre agnostic, but rock, I don't think is her, it's not her home genre. And there needs to be context to it to enjoy it. So if it's a rock song that contains lyrics to something she likes, maybe it's a fan song about a show she likes, she'll be into that. But just rock music for rock music's sake? Nah. She hates music. She loves music. She sings all day long. And she was in she got her Spotify Wrapped. She was like 0.06% of one of the artists. It was crazy. She'll come around when she graduates to a greater demon. The funny thing is, too, is I have a video of her playing air guitar to some Human Abstract when she was about 6. And I think that was the last time she ever did anything positive to metal music. Prog and hip hop, that's a cool combo right there, though. Both of those capture very different vibes. So it's definitely, if you're in one mood, if you're in another mood, yeah, that's cool. Hip prog. Can any prog be hip? The prog hop. You always come back to whatever your parents listen to. I wonder how much of that is because you listen to it growing up. And I don't really put too much of what I want on in the car. We mostly listen to what she wants because I don't care one way or the other. And I get introduced to some really cool stuff. But like when I was growing up, I had zero control. I listened to whatever my parents put on. And I think part of it is you get acclimated to it. And as you get older, you kind of want that nostalgia. Whereas I don't think she's going to have too much of that. Violin player's son listens to Static X at 4. Dang. So he doesn't love metal. Wow. Hop on top. Is that a thing? I would love to hear some more avant-garde hip hop. All right. Static X is new metal, buddy. It is 100% metal. It's so metal that it's the new metal. Shabazz Places. Oh, Injury Reserve. Yeah. I've heard them. Buddy, new metal is metal. It's in the name. Otherwise, it'd be not metal. But it's new metal. You can't get closer to being metal than having metal in your genre name. 6-year-old's favorite song right now is Falling in Reverse. I didn't approve. It's metal and it's new. Yeah, like this is language 101 right here. Metal archives can be ridiculous when they're with their gatekeeping, but you understand their position on new metal. If you're old, get out of my metal. Let me write down Shabazz Palaces. I think it said Places last time. I have to check them out. Injury Reserve, I think, is on my list already because I've enjoyed them in a live stream in the past. No? Fix old, no new. All right, let's get into some Nier Automata music. At least I'm assuming that's Nier Automata because that's 9S on the piano in the thumbnail there. Okay, yeah, I thought I'd listened to them before. This is by Keiichi Okabe and Keigo Hoashi, arranged by Sachiko. How did you do CH in Japanese? Is that just the ch sound? That's weird. It's a very soft sound for Japanese. Sachiko Miyano. The title is Fleeting Words. Oh, it's Replicant? Why they got 9S in the thumbnail then? You got to get to bed? All right. Dude, you've been up for more than 24 hours? Dang. All right. Definitely. Oh, TCH. Sachiko. Okay. Sachiko Miyano. All right. We'll catch you later then, Azathoth. Get some much needed rest. we have context on this from Terranekla. Benjamin Nuss playing Fleeting Worlds from the Near Replicant version 1.22 soundtrack, originally composed by Keiichi Okabe and Keigo Hoashi, arranged for piano by Sachiko Miyano. All right. Basically what I had said just a moment ago. Yep, I missed who it was played by. Let's dive into this, see what's going on. Kickban Azathoth for abandoning, or Kickban Youth Worship Explosion for distracting the stream. So what's another good word for that? Upending the stream? Beautiful start to this. You bring in the audience. I have Twitch analytics that might say different. Also, why is it called a kick band? Why didn't it just be a regular band? What is a kick band? How is that different? Kick them out and then ban them? Diminishing the stream. There, that's a good one. The perma ban. Excellent swell right here. It's interesting how much of this is shaping around chords, bringing intense melody to both hands. Oh, beautiful arpeggiation. Which boss fight was this? Oh, okay. And of course, the signature melancholy coming in underneath all the beauty. That's a good way to put that. I mean, it's an Okabe track, so it was going to do this anyways, but it's definitely my favorite of the stream so far. Yeah, pretty and it works is one way to describe that for sure. I love the beauty. I love the joy at the beginning. And as Tara Nekla mentioned, it encompasses the entire emotional journey of the arc. We move from that joy and beauty into pain, negativity, darkness, and ultimately sorrow. Could have been enhanced by being a little lighter. Loved it still. That's my critical analysis. Uh, it's just the thing is too though is I certainly have this track elevated because it pairs with a boss fight that I'm aware of. You know, we listen to a lot of well, not a lot, I suppose, but we have listened to a handful of video game soundtracks on the channel, and I don't always have the context of the gameplay along with them, but I do for this one, and it hits harder knowing what the general arc is of this character and hearing that arc through the music. And I think that's why this one hits for me so well because the journey, it just reminds me of the tale. It's a pretty perfect one-to-one movement between emotions. Um, and this piano arrangement is gorgeous. I do agree with Evil though. I like the original. The choirs in it feel great and it adds scale to it. But I think on the other side of the equation that the singularity of the piano also makes this feel very isolating, which is very appropriate for the character. Yeah, just like I said, this is Keiichi, and he's just every time he writes something great, I'm there for it. I don't think I've heard a bad song from that dude, so I knew I was going to enjoy this. If y'all will give me a couple of minutes, the demon must be fed. I'll be right back. All right. Anyone play Arc Raiders? It's on my radar. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it before the fanfare dies down, because $40. Is it 40 or 50? I think it's $40. It's still a pretty big ask. But my friends, they're kind of lukewarm on it, so they're wanting to wait for a bit of a sale. Might pick it up next year. Does that mean Brian will have lost part of his soul when he comes back? All right. We have 3 more tracks ahead of us. That is an album art right there. I don't know how to pronounce this track. Definitely can't pronounce the artist. Yeah, I'm not going to attempt the title either. Right? The original version of that song is phenomenal. I do like I said, the more minimal piano only approach to this version of it. It has qualities that I enjoy in it, but the original is just, it's special. It's good. All right. We have context for this one from Jaron, a side project of my favorite black metal band, Odraza and Furia, both of which are you're pretty familiar with. The trick is every album is different. This one is muddy and moody with a trumpet and pretty good amount of repetition. Well, we might disagree on what is a good amount of repetition, but let's dive into this and see what this group is bringing to the table. A nice mix of 3 and 4 feelings. Dude, I forgot about James Pond's. I had a James Pond game on the Game Gear. I'm not entirely sold on this track. It is incredibly compressed down, clear-ish, but it just feels like it's right here around me. The trumpet is an interesting contrast to the darkness of everything else. Bells? Okay. I'm more on board with this. Okay. It's a solid mood. I think it captures an oppressive feeling very well. The trumpet is a nice addition, and I think that it contrasts the heavy weight of the guitars and drums really well. The bells help with that towards the end too, bringing in another lighter tone. But I think I just need more context to understand it. It's another track that sort of just is. I don't know what it's trying to do other than be moody. I'm not really getting a lot of emotional information from the trumpet. It's a little bit of brightness in the tone, maybe a small amount of positivity that contrasts the weight, but I don't know. It's an interesting track, though, especially at the end as we got rid of the distorted instruments and opened up the room a little bit, allowed space for everything to be. I thought that was a cool little way to wrap things up, but again, I don't know what it means. And so this track eludes me. I don't know. I'm glad some of y'all enjoyed it though. And see, the comparisons to Dead Can Dance make sense too, because that's another group that generally bounces off of me. Although with them, I typically can understand their artistic intentions with the music too. And like I said, in this one, I'm kind of lost. I don't know what to make of it. Kind of gives me a lukewarm reaction to it. Mark, the James Pond game I had was called Codename Robocod. And me being older than 7 years old now, I realize that that's two different parodies. I never caught on to that. I'm also seeing that if I had kept the box and the manual, I could have sold this thing for $152, which is what it's going for today, complete. That boggles my mind. If only I had known this stuff back in the day, right? Son of the Children? I don't believe so. We've done very few Dead Can Dance tracks. And for the most part, I don't think I've been super receptive to them. All right, why? Come on, you two, work with me. Anywhere Out of the World, Summoning of the Muse, The Protagonist, and Rakim. Those are the four that I've done a full reaction to. I don't remember the stretching, but it was James Pond 2, yeah. In fact, I don't really remember much about the game, so I kind of want to, I don't know, play it again. See if it triggers any nostalgia. But I don't remember anything about it other than the cartridge itself. All right, 2 tracks left today. We're going to move on to some Kate Bush here. And I think the requester mentions we haven't listened to too much of them. Yeah, Nate says, I believe this is your first time hearing Kate Bush on the channel. Comes from her 78 debut. Is that true? Well, we have 0 full reactions to her, so maybe? I could have sworn we've checked out some Kate Bush in the past, though. Let's dive into this. See what she's bringing to the table. What animal is that? A dolphin, okay. Oh, this is a lot more palatable than the intro made me think it was going to be.
Honey, it's in me. It's in me. And you know it's for you. Tuning in.
So it looks like we've listened to Mother Stands for Comfort and Night of the Swallow on streams. Beautiful sax work. Interestingly, we've listened to one Kate Bush track every year for 3 years straight. Exactly one, always on a live stream.
Shadows from your saxophone, suddenly in tremor. The stars that climb from
Now, this is a 2018 remaster,
towers.
but I love the tone of the bass.
Never see that you had all of me. Will never see the poetry you stirred in me. All the stars I've seen that shine so brightly. Never known or felt in myself so rightly. It's in me. It's in me. And you know it's for you. Tuning in on your saxophone.
You're a playful saxophonist. Cool, organ runs? Maybe that's where I've heard Kate Bush's name is in relationship to Tori Amos. And now that you mention it, I definitely hear a lot of parallels there. I think this is another song that just sets a mood and vibes with it. And I don't think I'm in the mood for that right now. This stream's been kind of hard on me. I don't think I've had much to talk about. I don't know if it's been that interesting of a stream. I apologize if it hasn't been up to everyone's standards. I think it's a solid track at creating a nice, almost breezy, which isn't a word I usually use for music, but it fits here really well. A breezy track. It has good direction, but it just is. And so much of it is the saxophone, which obviously it's called the Saxophone song. But did the saxophone really do much that was of interest? I thought it was solid, good melodies, but I can't repeat back anything I heard. Nothing that was super memorable off of a first listen. And there at the end, I really think that the organ took over. It became the organ song for the final 40 seconds. So, do I need a hug? I mean, I could always use a hug, but I don't think I need one. All right, Evil. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time. I don't know. This song kind of bounced off of me. I've said that a lot today, but this has been a day of either in wild jumps between ideas like the agriculture track or just kind of crafting a vibe and sitting with it. Although, here's some food for thought. I don't think I know who I am right now. Okay, that sounds weird. But anyways, I think I listened to the album that is going to take my number one slot from album of the year yesterday, 2 days ago. It's a black metal album. Yeah. I took my temperature after I listened to it. I must have been sick. I don't remember. I wrote it down. I don't remember the band name though. It was not English, which is why I think I did not remember it. Efrosin is the name of the artist. And nope, that is not the right group. Yeah, it's spelled strange too, so putting it in chat probably is a good idea. And wow, am I gonna have to use? I think I got rid of it out of my Spotify 2025 playlist already. I don't think that's right, actually. I can't find this artist. I must have made a typo. I'll have to get back to y'all on this. Why is it so hard to find? It was a Latin language, so I don't know. I don't think it was Spanish though. Maybe Portuguese. Synapse has got it. I did have a typo. Oh, it's Greek. Okay. And the album's called Morris. Morus. Yes, as Mark put it. So they're post-black? I mean, that makes sense. There's a jazziness to it. There's a lot of piano work going on. Yes, thank you, Synapse, for reading through my typo. It's wild, man. It's incredibly emotional. There's harshes in it, but plenty of cleans too. And it clicked with me. How long was this? I think it was like 42 minutes. And when it was over, I hit play again. I had to listen to it a second time. It was so good. But it is emotionally heavy. This is not a fun listen. But it's like being hit by I was going to say being hit by a train and wanting it again. That's weird. But it is. It wore me down so much that I just had to hit replay on it. It was beautiful, which is not a term I use for black metal too often. But I guess it being post-black makes sense too. So they're a Greek band. Or do they sing in Greek? Because, like I said, to me it sounded Portuguese maybe. So, I don't know. I don't think I've listened to a lot of Greek music though, so maybe more familiarity with the sounds of that language might help me pick it out easier. And I'm kind of hoping someone tells me, oh yeah, there's actually some, sound similarities between Portuguese and Greek, because otherwise this is going to feel really dumb. Oh, they sing in... Oh, Poem is a Greek band that sings in English. Bianca's, yeah. I remember when we looked up Bianca earlier, I had mentioned they were Italian. I'm going to have to check them out. Obviously, I'm in the mood for that kind of stuff right now. So maybe Bianca will be on today's listen list. I think I said my piece on Kate Bush. Really well written for a palatable track. I don't think there's anything that was too offensive in it. but it just, I think it needed something more. It's just very samey from start to finish. And that feels very critical. Let's wrap this up. What do we have here? We have Front 242. Controversy Between. This one comes at us from Elbow Juice with no context. Trumpet and saxophone. They better have oboe or bassoon. All right. Let's dive into this and see what's going on. That is such an 80s sound. They're very shrill sounds. The boop boops. Yep, there's beep beeps in here too. I like his dance moves. Very passionate. Okay, that's about what I expected. All right, guy. It's really interesting that the 16th note hi-hat stuff seems to be pre-programmed because the drummer moved the bass kick up to a hand, and so the hi-hat needed to be moved elsewhere. It seems like it would have been a lot easier to just, even if you got like a stupid pedal trigger, put that on the drum kit so that he could have played the hi-hat. You think he's faking? You think we got a Milli Vanilli situation? I don't think so. Interesting noise to put on top of it, though. Yeah, I'm still here. Welcome back. They were all faking in the 80s, standard procedure. You guys called it. What? Yeah, they were doing a talk show, late night talk show, right? They were told that they were going to use a backing track, so they made sure that the visuals did not match at all. I remember that. But this, what was this? This didn't look like it was on a talk show. This looked like it was they were playing on a small stage. What? Yeah, you lost me there. Music. This is a solid track right here. Another song that just does what it does. We got one drum beat, we got one chord progression. Eventually, we just put noise over it, which seemed odd at that point, but made sense towards the end of the track. I don't know. It was just a music video. Was it though? I mean, I took it to be a live. I took that to be a live performance. I mean, I guess it could have been a music video. Some music videos look like live performances. Um, I don't know though. Seeing the end, it really pulls a lot of things into question, like shoving the drummer looking like they're on beat and playing the right things, and then deciding not to do anything. The noise of the guitar, very strange choice, but I guess to my 2025 ears, putting just raw, distorted sine wave sound on top of a pretty generic sounding 80s pop rock track, I mean, that fits. But maybe it didn't fit back then. Maybe that was just a really abrasive idea. Maybe what? Never heard industrial before. Yeah, but this was noise, dude. Noise on top of something palatable. The industrial we've listened to is noisy tones, but not always noisy music. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. Is this a giant joke? I don't know. It's strange that this track is as... I don't want to use the word because I don't feel like it's objective enough. My brain's getting fried, I think. It's kind of a boring track though. Personally, the vocals were very iterative. This feels like that 80s, was this post-punk style or no wave? I kind of get those two mixed up at times. 80s electro rock as a theme? Sure. I'm always down for new genres. I've started putting old genres that we've already done back into the polls because they're popular. I feel like we've done all the stuff people want to do and they're kind of being forced to pick other genres when I fill some stuff, but maybe that's something people would like. 80s electronic industrial rock. Are those two different genre weeks, you think? Should we do electro rock and then industrial? Yeah, okay. So not include industrial. Done. We've had hip hop week. I'm pretty sure we checked out some Kendrick Lamar, Aesop Rock. Of course, that dude always pops up anytime. In fact, we did Little Sims during a hip hop week, and that's when I got turned on to her. So, yeah, I think we've done hip hop week, but I'd love to do another one. especially if it's a bit more on the modern experimental genre fusion side of things. I don't remember what I was saying about this track. Oh yeah, it does its thing. It's kind of very predictable until it isn't, and then it wildly goes off the train rails, and I don't know what to make of the ending, and it completely recontextualizes the entire performance for me. That amazing guy that was similar to Kendrick. Who did we check out that was similar to Kendrick? Because to me, we've checked out 2 Kendrick Lamar tracks, and he kind of sits in his own realm. Because I feel like there's more musically to talk about his stuff than other artists. Even though I think there's people that are approaching his realm of lyricism and rap, I don't think there's many artists that approach his musical side of things. Mackenzie? Um, I'm not seeing. I'm trying a few different spellings of Mackenzie, and I'm not seeing anything. Maybe it was a live stream though. McKinley Dixon? Okay, so that was definitely a live stream then. I don't recall that at all. I'm gonna have to go check that one out again. But yeah, I'd be down for some more experimental hip hop, or even just progressive, just taking the genre and the rap delivery and pushing musically. So, all right. Dang, it's almost 2 o'clock. This was a long one. Thank you all for hanging out with me, sticking around, coming back in to the stream. It was an interesting day worth of music, and I've got a couple of things to look forward to. I pulled down 2 from the list and got a completely different recommendation. My favorite blank, just favorite anything. Yeah, agriculture and kokeshi. I think those were the 2 I pulled down as well. Oh, and profiler. I grabbed them as well. And I think their variety stood out today too against all the other picks. Why do you like the color pink? It's just solid, man. You look at it and it makes you happy. I mean, maybe that's not true for everyone, but that's how my brain's wired. I don't think there's anything about it that stands out to me. It is versatile though. It can be a very soft color. It can be a harsh color, vibrant, regal, or diminished. Almost like a pale pink, bit of gray mixed in there. I didn't want to take the bait. I tried to dismiss it, and then I took it. All right. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll get this out as soon as possible. Early access for tomorrow will be available soon. I know we haven't had that for Monday in a while, but that is back on the table just in time to do it for a couple of months or a couple of weeks, and then we'll have the break. Patrons, tomorrow I will have a post about the break, what the schedule is going to look like for December and January, as well as how polling is going to work. So, bri. Dude, I haven't been called that since grade school, probably. But yeah, dude, a lot of people called me that. You don't get a break. This is America. If you want to request the Muse track, go for it. Maybe hold off though until tomorrow. Read tomorrow's post, then decide if you're going to submit it. All right. Until next time, everyone get hyped up for this week's theme. We're going to check out some alternative rock, and I'll catch you later.